The judge could issue a warrant for your arrest if you do not comply. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, Judge. Welcome. Good
I'll
morning.
get all
Just
that
giving everybody the
paperwork when I go
instructions.
with some from my probation.
Mr. Schultz, you need to keep yourself muted, sir. Good morning, Judge.
Okay, welcome to the Bexar County Court of Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court plea and probation motion to revoke probation. Today is Thursday, 24 June, year of our Lord 2021. I apologize for the delay, but as you can see, even now we're missing attorneys. So we're playing the cards we're dealt. In the future, if any of you can expedite getting your clients to get the paperwork done earlier, we can perhaps start on time eventually. But right now we're doing the best we can. I apologize it's that way, but it's that way. Let's start with our motions to revoke probation. The first case we've got is cause 604320, State of Texas versus Caitlin Serna. Is this Judge Barons? Are you here for Miss Serna?
Judge Kelly's online.
Green is here, Your Honor.
Kelly's here. All right. Miss Green. The first document I need y'all to identify for me is entitled "The Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference," which purports to have both of your signatures on it. Back, Miss Serna, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Miss Green is attorney for Miss Serna. Is this your signature on this document? Kelly, can you hear me?
She was here, Your Honor. She might have slipped out, but she was here.
Oh, I see her. Well, her microphone is off from what I see. She's still very.
Yeah, she might be doing another Zoom, Your Honor. I'm not sure, but she was here and she was ready.
Judge Barons, are you still with us?
I am, Judge. I'm not aware of the plea on this case, but I can handle it.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, Kelly. All right, Kelly, I'm asking you if this is your signature on the defendant's consent to motion to revoke hearing by video conference document.
Yes.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And Ms. Serna, is this your signature on this document also, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it is.
And Ms. Green is attorney for Ms. Serna. Is this also your document?
Yes.
Our signature on the document, excuse me. Okay, next document I have is entitled Fourth Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Representing the state is Ms. Alexis O'Connor. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Ms. Green, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Serna, on the Fourth Amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead now?
I plead,
Okay, it's still exciting at the jail. Ms. Serna, can you still hear me, ma'am?
yes, sir.
And what is your plea?
I plead true.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Serna's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Serna has been reporting as directed. We last saw her on June 9th of 2021. She's paid $1,204 towards her fees and has a balance of $1,491, and she is delinquent $940. She has not completed any of her 48 hours of community service. She has, yes. You're muted, Judge. Judge, we can't hear you.
All right, Ms. Serna, we're getting background noises. I apologize. I think it's probably the jail. If you turn your microphone off, unless I'm talking directly to you, thanks. Anybody else, please keep your microphone turned off unless you and I or you and somebody else are talking. Thank you. Go ahead, Susan.
Okay, we have no record of any of her 48 hours community service having been completed. She has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and CAT-SNP. She has had 9 positive issues with drugs and alcohol and failed to submit to drug testing on 1 occasion. She's had 2 diluted drug tests, 3 positives for marijuana, and 6 positives for alcohol between the Smart Start mobile and the Scram device. In total, she's had 9 alcohol violations. She has tampered with the device on 5 occasions and also tampered with the Scram device. She has no criminal history. This is her second motion to revoke, second violation report, and the probation department is recommending that she go to SATF.
Ms. Green, is your client interested in going to the substance abuse treatment facility for 120 days?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you have, what are you requesting the court to do?
The state and I are in agreement to have her probation be revocated and do Bear County time.
Okay. Ms. Serna, at this point in time, you've had time to discuss with your attorney, but I'd like your actual voice on the record. What I'm offering you is we can keep you on probation and I can send you to SATF. I don't need your permission to send you to the substance abuse treatment facility, but if you're not interested in going and just sit there, you're not going to get anything out of it. So I'm giving you an opportunity to stay on probation. You would stay in jail for probably plus or minus 30 more days before you get into the SATF facility. Then you do 120 days, which is the minimum amount of time at the substance abuse treatment facility for drug alcohol rehabilitation. Then you would come back out and still be on probation. The other option is for you to choose revocation, which is what your attorney says you are interested in, at which point you would get 180 days in the Bear County jail and whatever fine, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. And of course, if you had any previous time in jail, that would count on that time frame. Which one would you rather do, ma'am?
I would rather do the revocation.
All right, thank you. Ms. Serna, on cause 604320, the court accepts your plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke probation or community supervision. I grant the state's motion to revoke your community supervision pursuant to your and your attorney's request. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bear County jail. What was the original fine on this case, Susan, if you know?
Yes, Your Honor, it was $500.
$500 plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Serna?
Nothing further from the defense.
Good luck, Ms. Serna. Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank you.
Okay, next case I have is cause 639519, State of Texas versus Juan Portillo with Ms. Corley. Is Ms. Corley with us at this time?
Your Honor, she has not checked in, but we have Ms. Diaz here with her defendant.
Okay, so Ms. Corley is not here yet. Fair enough. Next case I have is cause 646629, State of Texas versus Luis Martinez, represented by Ms. Nora Diaz. Mr. Martinez, I'm looking at a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference that allegedly has your signature on it. Is this your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Diaz, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, this document also purports to have your signature on it. Is this your signature, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The next document I have, Mr. Martinez and Ms. Diaz, is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Diaz, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The next document I have is titled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. And once again, Ms. Susan Gross is the CSTD representative. I remind her she's still under oath. And Ms. Diaz, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Martinez, on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Would that be true, Ms. Diaz?
Yes, sir.
Court accepts the plea of true. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Martinez's probation?
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant has been reporting as directed. We last saw him June 14th, 2021. He's paid $858 towards his fees. He has a balance of $256 and he is current at this time. We have no record of any of his community service hours being done, and we have no proof of enrollment or completion of DWI education, victim impact panel, or the CATSNP program. To date, he has had 1 negative drug test. He's currently on Smart Start Mobile, testing it 4 times a day. During his first month of Smart Start, he skipped 11 tests. During his second month, he skipped 9 tests. He has a criminal history arrest of theft 50 to 500 and a felony evading arrest. The probation department is recommending that his Smart Start Mobile be increased to 6 times per day. This is his first violation report, first MTR.
Ms. Diaz, what are you requesting, please?
Your Honor, I'd like to confer just a moment with my client, but first I do want to address the issue regarding his classes. He did bring me proof of enrollment in his classes with some of the daily stuff. He has 2 classes left, and I'd be more than happy to forward it to Ms. Gross. So
Ms. Diaz, let me interrupt you. I apologize. Let me cut to the chase on what my idea is on this case and let you and the state tell me if you think that's okay with you or not. The only problem we're really having with Mr. Martinez is being able to blow into Smart Start Mobile reliably. I think in the narrative I saw, he's had problems sleeping through some of the windows. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir, that's true. He's on.
He's been reporting properly. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I agree with you. He has plenty of time to do his classes. What I want to do is amend his probation to add a Scram device, which is going to cost him $350 a month, but it's a lot more fun than jail. I want him on the Scram device for 90 days. If he does well in 90 days, we'll take him off and put him back on the Smart Start, or by then he may have finished all his requirements for any device. Is that something you would be considering?
Well, I'd like to finish first before you make your decision. And that is, number one, he works in the AC. He needs to be able to get a work permit to work on the weekends in Houston and in other big cities where he can make money to pay for this probation and pay you.
And what does he do for a job? I'm sorry.
He works in the air conditioning industry. And so if you're
making more money than you and me right now, as hot as it is.
Probably.
That's not a problem from the probation and from my standpoint. He's still gonna be on whatever device he's on, which at this time would be Scram. So if he went to Houston or Dallas with our permission, he'd still be on the Scram device. It would still work there. So that's
okay, so that he would just take the base with him to wherever he's at and plug it into whatever hotel he's staying in, or
my understanding. Ms. Gross, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then we should be good with that.
All right, State, is that okay with you? I'll let you do it. Okay. Denora, do you have anything further?
Yes, we just want to go ahead and make it automatic that when he goes ahead and notifies or provides proof to his PO that he's going to be working out of town, that we can do so without the necessity of having to approach you and bug you about it. Let's just go ahead.
I'm gonna give the ability to grant those to his probation officer. If they deny him, then come to me. But the probability is, if it's a normal thing for him to do. I'm also going to add weekly. Hello.
Oh, I was just going to say, will you be adding a ETG test upon return?
Not if he's on Scram device. That's not going to be necessary.
Okay.
Anyway, additional Denora, I'm going to add weekly UAs, but if he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs, I'm going to take him off of that. You know, that'll just be monthly after that. So those are the only restrictions I'm going to put on him, but he's welcome to go work in Texas, pretty much anywhere he wants to go. And his probation officer, Susan, is going to be authorized to grant permission to go on those sport trips.
One last thing. Are we just going to continue the Scram for another 3 months so that he finishes it?
Yeah, he's not on Scram right now, correct?
No, he's not. He's on the other machine. But when he gets on Scram, is the term going to be 90 days?
If he does well on Scram in 90 days without violation, absolutely, we're going to take the Scram off. And I don't know how much time he's had on both the Smart Start and the Scram. He may have enough time at that point to be half his probation term. And I can make a decision at that time. We can waive both of them if he's done well. Or continue him on probably on Smart Start at that point if we had any problem.
He'll have to go back on Smart Start because he will not have completed enough time.
Or you can elect to stay on Scram if he's wealthy from all these weekend jobs, whatever he wants to do.
Luis, well, he's going to get on Scram because he's not on it right now. And
He'll have 10 days to get on Scram, no problem.
Like Monday, till Monday, if that's okay. Is that okay, Judge?
He's going to have 10 days to get on Scram from today.
Okay.
He stays on his Smart Start Mobile. He still needs to blow in his Smart Start Mobile so the Scram becomes active. Then he can turn in his Smart Start Mobile device.
Okay, I think that's good. Is that good, Mr. Martinez? Do you understand what's going on?
Yes.
Okay. Then we're good. Now,
All right. Mr. Martinez, in clause 646629, the court accepts your plea of true to all conditions. On the motion to revoke your community supervision, I deny the state's motion to revoke your community supervision or to continue on community supervision with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Is that something we need to take a look at, or do you think you can get by without that?
I can buy without that.
All right, good answer, sir. Altering amending condition to adding the Scram device within Scram cam bracelet device within 10 days. At that time, as soon as the Scram is active, he can take off his Smart Start mobile device, adding weekly UAs. Once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs, we'll go back on monthly UAs like everybody else, and requiring substantial compliance in all other areas, which means he needs to be registered for any programs he hasn't been registered for, and he's got plenty of time to work those out. Any questions from the defense, Ms. Diaz?
no, only that he will have to, he's on medication for 5 herniated discs that he has.
Okay,
So I'll have him provide proof to the PO of that and when he gets his UAs done. Miss Gross, I think, was waving her hand. She may have a question.
sure. Susan, go ahead.
If you can also put on the record and the file that he has the authority to travel for work throughout Texas. And then, Mr. Martinez, your officer will be sending you the information and the conditions for you to sign. You need to sign those and send them back. I would also contact Miss Wilcox this afternoon, and she can forward you the information as far as where to get the Scram device. Okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Denora, let's say this, if he's going anywhere, but he's not spending the night for work, he doesn't have to get permission. He can go anywhere in Texas for work as long as he's not spending the night without permission. That's okay. And if he has to spend the night, then he needs to get permission from his probation officer. And if that's denied for some reason, then you come to me. Fair enough?
Yes, sir. That sounds fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I got. Good luck, Mr. Martinez. Thank you, Ms. Diaz.
It would be excused.
You bet.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Gross. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Miss Corley is in, Your Honor.
Did we ever get Mr. Young? Everybody stop talking, please. Did we ever get Mr. Young here?
Not yet, Your Honor. He left a message with the clerk, said he had 3 cases set at the same time. He was going to the different settings and he has not checked in yet, but he is.
Okay, and we have Miss Corley now. So Miss Corley, are we ready to proceed on 639-519 State of Texas versus Juan Portillo?
I am ready, Your Honor.
All right. This is cause 639-519 State of Texas versus Juan Portillo. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I would like Mr. Portillo and Ms. Corley to identify their signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. Mr. Portillo, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Corley, as attorney for Mr. Portillo, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Portillo and Ms. Corley, the next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And on my copy, I have it mismarked. It said it's a plea bargain. That's incorrect. It is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. So Pat, please ensure administratively that that is the correct one mark. And Mr. Portillo, is this your signature on this document, please, sir?
Yes, it is, Judge.
And Ms. Corley, is this also your signature as attorney for Mr. Portillo?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. My understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that correct, Ms. Wortham?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Portillo, and then once again, for the record, Ms. Susan Gross is the CSCD officer who has been previously sworn, and Ms. Alexis O'Connor is the assistant criminal district attorney regarding this case. In clause 639-519, State of Texas versus Juan Edgardo Portillo. On the motion to revoke community supervision, Mr. Portillo, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Portillo's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Portillo's reporting has been good. We last saw him on June the 9th of 2021. He has paid $420 towards his fees. He has a balance of $811 and he is current at this time. We have no record of any of his 36 hours of community service having been completed. He's testing on Smart Start 4 times a day, and he's had no issues with that. He's had 5 positive drug tests for marijuana and 2 negative drug tests. He's completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and CAPSNP. This is his second violation report, second MTR hearing. Originally, you had put him on weekly drug testing and substantial compliance as a result of that first MTR. The officer is recommending that he be put back on weekly drug testing and that he enroll in a drug offender education program within 10 days.
May I address the court?
Let me cut to the chase. Hang on just a second. Ms. Portillo, are you gonna stop smoking marijuana? Because that's kind of a big question for all of us.
Yes, sir. I've stopped smoking marijuana.
Good answer, sir. All right, Ms. Corley, what else you got?
Well, Your Honor, if my client has requested, we've pled true to this, but we're not quite sure about these positives, about why they're positive. He was around some people that were smoking, and he was adamant with me. So if you want to leave him on the drug testing, Judge, the client's requested if he could do the drug patch instead of the UAs because he feels it'll be more accurate.
Okay, if he says that he's not smoking and he's around people, his conditions specifically state that he is not to associate with persons of criminal activity or persons engaging in criminal activity. So he's still in violation.
I understand it, and we're not disputing the positive test. We are pleading true. We're simply asking for a different testing format.
Let me ask Ms. Roach what the department's experience is on this patch. I'm not familiar with the patch.
They have used it in a few circumstances for, people that are, medically housebound or something like that. But other than that, no opinion.
Well, I know that County Court 2 requires a drug patch every time somebody travels. And so I know, and I've had the drug patch on many felony cases. So it's a known quantity, so to speak, Judge. And if you want to leave him on the UAs, that's fine. We just felt like a drug patch might be a better, more effective. It will show you every day rather than just 1 or 2 days for that period. And I think this is his only real issue. I mean, he has only just recently been put on his probation, and so he has plenty of time to do the community service. I think he's up to date on his fees, and he's planning to make probably a charitable donation for his community service. So I think he's really on track. We just have this one issue with marijuana.
All right, well, Mr. Portillo has already told us he's not gonna smoke any more marijuana. So Mr. Portillo, if I give you your analysis test today, you're gonna be clean, is that correct? Or do we need to wait 30 days and then you're gonna be clean? What's it gonna be?
No, Judge, I'll be clean today.
All right, you're the man. Mr. Portillo, and I'm sorry, state for your recommendation. I think we've got it, but go ahead.
Along with probation, Judge.
All right. Mr. Portillo, on clause 639519, the court accepts your plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke community supervision with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your community supervision, or you continued on community supervision with all prior requirements with no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary?
No, Judge, you have my
Another
attention.
good answer. Altering many conditions, adding the DOEP marijuana course. If we still have problems, we're gonna have to go to intensive outpatient. I'm not gonna order that at this time, Ms. Corley. I want him to do weekly UAs for 4 weeks. If he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs, I'm gonna take him off of the weekly UA business. I'm not gonna put a patch on him. He'll just be subject to monthly UAs because I know he's doing okay. Is that okay with the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then substantial compliance in any other area, and I'm not even sure that's relevant because I think you've pretty much done everything else. That sound right, Susan?
He has.
Yes, Your Honor, the only obligation he has is community service.
And Pat has a list of organizations that are tax deductible or whatever, primarily the Special Operations Wounded Warriors and the Family Violence Prevention Services, that he can donate $10 an hour per community service hour to, and I'll probate his community service. Any further questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Portillo, on class 639519. Once again, the court accepts your plea of true to all conditions On the motion to revoke your community supervision, I deny the motion to revoke your community supervision or to continue on community supervision with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time. Adding the DOEP course and adding weekly UAs with the understanding, once you show me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I'll take you off of that. And then substantial compliance in all other areas, and you're doing well in those other areas. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Portillo?
Nothing from defense.
Good luck, Mr. Portillo, and
All
thank
right.
you, Ms. Corley. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Portillo, your officer will be sending you conditions to sign. You need to get that done. And I would also reach out to your officer and see if they have any other instructions for you, okay?
All right, thank you. I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the GPS right now for house arrest. Can I go ahead and get that removed, or how
Yeah,
does that work?
we're gonna recall all prior bond increases and or conditions of bond on while you were on pretrial for this hearing. So that'll
All
be entered today. It may not take effect till tomorrow, but it'll be sent to the clerks today at some point.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thanks, guys. Okay, and we still don't have Mr. Young back. Is that correct?
That's right, Your Honor. I am emailing them right now and see if I can get an answer.
All right.
And Judge, I have a plea today as well.
You have a plea today as well?
Yes,
For
Your
Mr.
Honor.
we're-
Raskin.
We'll get into those right now. Give me about a 5-minute break to get organized on the pleas. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes,
Open
sir.
if you got them.
Judge, FYI, I'm in the 437th physically right now, and I have Mr. Fridley on your VTC docket for a plea.
We're good. If
So I
anybody,
can't-
if any attorneys need to leave, if you can send Pat a chat message, just let her know what you're doing, and we'll get back to you at the quickest possible time. There's just no way to control all everybody's schedule. So if you have to go, I understand the hard feelings. Just let Pat know, and I'll be right back. Thanks.
I'm going to stay connected for now. I'll just keep the volume down while I go back into their courtroom.
We've got Mr. Fridley in our first batch of cases, so we're good.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get you out of here in time. Stand by.
Hey, Pat, can you email me a list of those charities so I'll have them for my clients?
I'll have the clerk to do that since I'm not in my office. I'll tell them, I have them in the courtroom and I'll have them scan it to you.
Oh, thank you. That way I can make that available to my clients in your court.
You're welcome.
You're on mute, Judge.
All right, apologize. Welcome back to Bear County Court Law number 6 on the Bear County Veterans Treatment Court. This is our plea and probation docket on Thursday, June 24th, 2021. Continuing, we're going into pleas. We have 4 Bear County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial diversion plea and probation agreements. The first one, 657978, State of Texas versus Michael Fridley, represented by Judge Bob Behrens. The second, 651942, State of Texas versus Stephen Michael Cristo, represented by Mr. Ivan Barrera. Third, cause 652875, State of Texas versus Roger Andrew Flores, represented by Mr. Ivan Barrera. And the fourth, cause 645155, State of Texas versus Adrian Rubio, represented by Mr. Ronald Ortman. And in this batch, we're going to take up 2 regular pleas, cause 640806, State of Texas versus Mike Z. McDaniels, represented by Mr. Ivan Barrera. And cause 654920, State of Texas versus Michael S. Vasquez Jr., represented by Miss Linda Corley. Mr. Barrera, Judge Behrens, are you ready to go forward at this time? Judge Behrens, can you hear me? Is Bob still with us? Can you hear me, Pat?
Your Honor, Judge Behrens is on, Your Honor, but he may be involved in the other court, Your Honor. He's
I
muted.
got you. All right, stand by. Okay, we're also going to include cause number 656814, State of Texas versus Nicholas M. Rios, represented by Mr. Fernando Trevino. Mr. Trevino, are you ready at this time?
Yes.
All good. Okay. Batting order once again is Cristo, Flores, McDaniels, Rubio, Vasquez, and Rios. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I need you to identify signatures on a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, which purports to have both the defendant and his attorney's signature. Mr. Cristo, in cause 651942, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. Cristo, is this also your signature, sir?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Flores, in cause 652875, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. Flores, is this also your signature?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. McDaniels, in cause 640806, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. McDaniels, is this also your signature?
It is, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Rubio, in cause 645155, is this your signature on this document, sir? Mr. Rubio, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
sir.
I can now, and it is.
And thank you, sir. Mr. Ortman, is this your signature as attorney for Mr. Rubio?
It's Jesus' signature, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Corley, in cause 654920, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Vasquez, in cause 654920, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rios, in cause 656814, is this your signature on this document, sir? Mr. Rios, can you hear me, sir? I lost Mr. Rios. It says he's there. Your microphone is turned off, Mr. Rios. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Houston, we have a problem. Mr. Rios, if you can hear me, you need to punch the button that turns on your microphone again, please, sir. Otherwise, get your cell phone and text your attorney or call him and tell him what's going on. Fernando, you got an idea what's going on?
No. What did you hear or what?
Well, he's not, his microphone is turned off, so we can't hear him even if he is talking.
Okay, I'll call him and try to figure it out. I'm at the end of the list, so I'll get it sorted.
True. All right. Well,
Thanks.
He still needs to hear this, though.
I'm showing it on my end.
let's take a minute and see if we can fix our glitch. Okay, we'll pick them up on them later. Okay, now going with Mr. Cristo, Mr. Flores, Mr. McDaniels, Mr. Rubio, and Mr. Vasquez. At this time, I'm looking at the document entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purports to have your signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Cristo, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Flores.
Yes, my signature, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. McDaniel.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Rubio.
Yes, sir, it is, Mr. Honor.
And same question for Mr. Vasquez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. By signing this document, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? You had any questions about what was on this document? Those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, Mr. Cristo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Flores?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. McDaniel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Rubio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. Cristo, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
I have, and he is, Judge.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Flores.
I have, and he is, Judge.
Same question for attorney for Mr. McDaniel.
I have, and he is.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Rubio.
I have, and he is, Judge.
Same question for Mr. Attorney for Mr. Vasquez, excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor, I have, and I believe he is competent.
Okay. And Mr. Cristo, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Flores.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. McDaniel.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Rubio.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Vasquez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. As attorney for Mr. Cristo, as the state fully comply with discovery for you on this case, Mr. Barrera.
They have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Flores.
They have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. McDaniel.
We have, Your Honor.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Rubio.
They have, Judge.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Vasquez.
They've given me everything I know about, Judge.
Perfect. Okay, Mr. Cristo, this is the Bear County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial diversion plea and probation agreement in clause 651-942 to the charge of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Court accepts your plea of guilty, holds it in abeyance, places you on 1 year, Bear County Veterans Treatment Court. Track 1 pretrial intervention, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee. 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service. DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, 6 months Smart Start mobile home interlock, breath testing device, outpatient drug treatment either through the Veterans Administration or a designated VTC provider. No restitution in this case, correct, state?
Correct, Judge.
Issue judge's bond. Defendant will be monitored and supervised by the Bear County CSCD and the Bear County Veterans Treatment Court staff. At this time, Mr. Cristo, I'm looking at a document entitled, get to it, Track one, pretrial intervention was a contract signed between you and your attorney in the Bear County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the prerequisites and requirements of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Barrera, attorney for Mr. Christo, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
And I see Mr. Nicholas Maru, who's Assistant Criminal District Attorney. Mr. O'Connor, is that your trial partner's signature on this document?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, we got you down, Mr. Christo. We got you on contract. Okay, what did I miss, State?
Got it all, Judge.
And defense, what did I miss?
You got it all, Judge.
Hey, Mr. Christo, what did you do in the military, sir?
I was a nuclear machinist mate submariner.
On a submarine. Oh my goodness. How many years were you in the Navy?
Just shy of 10, 9 years, 10 months.
Okay, well, the worst is over because I can't punish you any worse than what you've already done to yourself. That was a joke, sir.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thanks for your service. Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Y'all are good to go. I need Mr. Barrera to hang around a minute. Okay, next case, clause number 652875. State of Texas versus Roger Andrew Flores. Mr. Flores is charged of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. How do you plead, sir?
Very guilty, Your Honor.
Court accepts your plea of guilty. Hold it in abeyance. Places you on 1 year. Bear County Veterans Treatment Court. Track one, pretrial intervention, probation, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee. 48 hours of community service, prorating all that based on your military service. DWI Education Corps, DWI Victim Impact Panel. 6 months, Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock Device. Outpatient drug treatment with the Veterans Administration or a designated VTC provider. No restitution in this case either, state, correct? Correct.
Good.
Requiring successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court issue judge's bond. Defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. At this time, Mr. Flores, I'm looking at a document entitled Track one, pretrial intervention, which is a contract bind between you and your attorney and the Bear County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the requirements and prerequisites of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And once again, Mr. Barrera, is this also your signature as attorney for Mr. Flores?
It is, Your Honor.
And apparently I have also Mr. Maru's signature as the Assistant Criminal District Attorney handling this case. Would that be accurate, Ms. O'Connor?
Correct, Judge.
Okay. What I miss on this one, State?
You got it all, Judge.
All good, defense?
All good, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Flores, what did you do in the military, sir?
I was in the infantry and intel analyst, Your Honor.
Okay, we may need some of your services, but you can see how well efficient we are and coordinated, so we might need some of your technical assistance to keep all this good together.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your help, sir. Okay, we're good on Mr. Flores. Mr. McDaniel, the clause 6408006. The charge of driving while intoxicated first offense. How do you plead, sir?
No contest, sir.
State, can I accept the plea of no contest? Is Mr. McDaniel's active duty?
Judge, are we talking about Mr. Michael McDaniel?
I missed that one. Say again?
Are we talking about Mr. Michael McDaniel?
Yes, Mike.
I have this.
McDaniel.
I have this as a regular plea, Judge, not a VTC.
Okay, well, anyway, they've got no contest on their paperwork. I don't have a problem with it. It's up to the state. Does it need to be guilty or can it be no contest?
No contest is fine, Judge.
All right. Court accepts your plea of no contest. Hold it in abeyance. Place you on 1 year. Bear County Veterans Treatment Court. Track one. Pre-trial intervention probation assessing a $1,000. All inclusive.
Judge.
Yeah.
Judge. I'm sorry, Judge. It's actually just a regular plea. It's not a VTC plea.
Oh, hang on. Let's try that again. Okay. So it's not a VTC plea. Therefore, the court accepts your plea of no contest. The offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. Is there an agreement for Mr. McDaniel?
14 months deferred adjudication, $500 fine plus court costs, $60 to DPS, 48 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAD SNP, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
And Mr. Barrera, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Judge.
Let me get this down. Okay, Mr. McDaniel, in clause 640-806, court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt, place you on 14 months, deferred adjudication probation. It says a $500 fine plus court cost, $60 reimbursement fee to the Texas Department of Public Safety, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, outpatient drug, and Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock for 6 months. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. McDaniel?
Judge, just one thing. It's actually McDaniel with it's no S at the end.
Okay, I'm just reading my paperwork. So it's McDaniel, singular, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Pat, if you please administratively correct the paperwork so it reflects the proper spelling of Mr. McDaniel.
I will call the clerks right now, Your Honor.
And it's misspelled on every document we have. Sorry about butchering your name, Mr. McDaniel. I'll try to quit. All right, we're good. Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. We'll get that fixed.
Thank you, Judge.
And next case I've got is 645-155, State of Texas versus Adrian Rubio, which I think truly is a Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right. Mr. Rubio, in clause 645-155, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, sir?
Yes, sir. No contest, Your Honor.
Court accept and say once again, no contest is okay with you on a VTC plea.
Correct, Judge.
All right. Court accepts your plea of no contest. Holding it in abeyance, place you on 1 year, Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial intervention, probation. Setting a $1,000 all-inclusive VTC fee, 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service. DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel. 6 months Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock. Outpatient drug with the Veterans Administration or designated VTC provider. No restitution necessary. Successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Issue judge's bond. Defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. This time I have a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract by and between you and your attorney and the Bexar County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the requirements and prerequisites of your successful completion of the VTC. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Rubio?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ortman, as attorney for Mr. Rubio, is this either your signature or your trial partner's signature on this document?
It's a trial partner's signature,
Like
Judge.
Mr. Lopez's signature. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And once again, I have Mr. Marie's signature as the assistant criminal district attorney. And that's not a forgery or anything, is it, Alexis? That's a real signature of a real ADA?
That's a real signature, Judge.
Okay, then we're good to go on that one. What did you do in the military, Mr. Rubio?
Yes, I was with the 92nd Civil Engineering Squadron as a structural technician.
Did you go to the war?
No, sir. Unfortunately, I did not. And I feel pretty bad about it.
You didn't miss anything. Don't get excited.
I'll try that.
Okay. And when I left Afghanistan, we were winning. So obviously we're bailing out now. Not when I was there. There you go. Okay, good to go, Mr. Rubio. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Rubio?
Nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Ortman. Thank you, Mr. Rubio. Y'all are excused. And Ron, I think Mr. Moore is going to get up with Mr. Rubio and all the other VTC guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. This is cause number 654920, State of Texas versus Michael S. Vasquez Jr., represented by Ms. Corley. Mr. Vasquez, to the charge of, did this start out as a DWI first or did it get reduced?
It started out as a 0.15, Judge.
Okay, let me look at your notes you sent me here. Okay, state you got a motion. Go ahead.
State moves to waive the enhancement and proceed as a DWI first.
No objections.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted. Okay, so that being said, and this already has a count two on the information. We don't have to add one. Is that correct?
Judge, we're just waiving the DWI enhancement, not adding it.
I got you. Just the enhancement. I got you. Okay, Mr. Vasquez, so the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, sir?
He should be pleading no. There we go.
No contest, is that correct? Ms. Corley, is no contest the correct plea?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, court accepts the plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. Is there an agreement for Mr. Vasquez?
6/12, $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAT SNP, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
That is the agreement.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez, about 654-920. The court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bear County Jail, probated for 1 year at $500 fine plus court cost, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, outpatient drug, and Smart Card Mobile Home Interlock for half the term, which is 6 months. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Vasquez?
I think so.
Good luck, Mr. Vasquez. Thank you, Ms. Corley. All are dismissed.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You bet. Mr. Trevino, did you ever get combo with Mr. Rios? Fernando, are you with us still?
Yeah, no, he's on.
Hey, Mr. Rios, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. We're going to start over on this next batch, and you guys are going to be our number one on that one.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I had a question though. There was I did this plea with David Martin. We worked out the deal, and he was supposed to put the new terms and email the prosecutor. I don't know if that's been done or if the prosecutor's aware.
Yeah, felony prosecutor, Mr. Martin?
She hasn't. She says she hasn't.
I have it. I have the correct plea.
What is your understanding of the plea bargain? So I can look at and see the one I've been sent, see if it's anywhere close.
My understanding, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my understanding of the plea bargain.
it's 14 months deferred adjudication. I believe a $750 fine, anger management, ignition interlock for half the term, and then the other DWI requisites. Is that correct?
I think that's what I got. Isn't that what it is?
Judge, I have ignition interlock and a tap eval as well. I didn't know if you wanted to change it to Smart Start Mobile and how you felt about the tap eval.
I think
we don't use tap evals because it takes a year to get one, and we don't use ignition interlock. But other than that, I think, and I have no contact with the chastity signs. That sound right?
What did you say, Judge?
On my plea bargain document I'm looking at, it says no contact with chastity signs. Is that a person involved in another case?
Yeah, it is. But that, I mean, we don't have a problem. We can do a no harmful or injurious. They have a baby together.
Well, this says no contact. Obviously, I don't know.
Felony noted no contact, and I also have restitution to SAPD and Bobby Galvan.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's fine with the no contact.
Mr. Ravino, let me read you what I got. You confirm or deny that that's what your understanding is, so we don't waste everybody's time.
Okay.
I've got 14 months deferred adjudication probation, $750 fine plus court cost, 48 hours community service, DWI education, and TAP we're not using, APSE, stress management course, restitution, if any, to GAVIE Galvan, and restitution, if any, to SAPD, and no contact with chastity signs.
And Smart Start Mobile, Judge. Sorry about that.
Start Mobile for half.
That's fine. That's the deal.
All right, all good. So hang on, guys. Let me get this next batch going here. And did we get Judge Barron's back on Mr. Fridley? Mike, Bob Barron's, can you hear me? There he is.
I'm here, Judge.
All right, you ready on Mr. Fridley?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. Get you going here. All right, we're gonna do new world record. We're gonna do 3, 6, 8 cases.
On your video.
All right, Judge Barron's ready on Mr. Fridley. Mr. Trevino is ready on Mr. Rios. Elva Trevino, you ready on Mr. Schultz?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you. And
Your Honor.
The Austin Hague, hello.
Excuse me, Your Honor, on Schultz, you need to sign the obstruction paper, and then I can send it to you.
On who?
On Schultz.
I'm in.
You don't even relate my case. Okay. I'm not doing my help. Well, it's not a matter of pay, and that's not the work. It's not even about it. I don't need to go to. Well, I'll give you a little bit more time. This time, or if you want to just sign and then tell me when you want to turn it in, I'll turn it in. If you don't want to turn it in, that's fine. Probably you might have to go for a lot longer than that because you're a key defendant, so then they'll jump up the punishment range on you and all that stuff. You can end up doing something. This is going to be your, remember what you're agreeing to is a maximum of 8 years, a minimum of 2. And you're asking for because the court that's being dismissed. One fellow is the firearm. You have 2. Yeah, I just picked one. About 30 days, they'll ask you to report probation today. Get started on things. Yeah, about 30 days usually. Like I said, they'll ask you to report probation today.
Okay, did you get that paperwork? Microphone's off.
Yes, Your Honor. I sent it to you.
All right, ready to proceed?
Yes.
It's going to be cause number 657-978, State of Texas versus Michael Fridley, which is a Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial diversion, plea, and probation agreement. Cause 65, represented by Judge Bob Behrens. Cause 656-814, State of Texas versus Nicholas M. Rios, represented by Mr. Fernando Trevino. Cause 626-271, State of Texas versus Eric D. Schultz, represented by Ms. Elda Trevino. Cause number 648837, State of Texas versus Jenna Del Barrio, represented by Mr. Austin Hagee. Cause number 653914, State of Texas versus Raymond M. Torres, represented by Mr. Isidro Montoya. And cause number 657216 and 657217, State of Texas versus Nicholas Guevara, represented by Mr. Bill Davidson. And 2 cases for Mr. Daniel De Lopez, 640048 and 640050, represented by Mr. Edwin Garcia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I need you to identify your signatures for me on the cover document, which is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. Mr. Fridley, in clause 657-978, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Thank you. Judge Barron, is this your signature on Mr. Fridley's document also?
It is, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Rios, clause 656-814, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Trevino, as attorney for Mr. Rios, is this also your signature on this document?
It is.
Mr. Schultz, in clause 626-271, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. Mr. Trevino, as attorney for Mr. Schultz, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. Ms. Del Barrio, in clause 648-837, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Hagee, as attorney for Ms. Del Barrio, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. Mr. Torres, in clause 653-914, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Montoya, as attorney for Mr. Torres, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Guevara, in clause 657-216, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davidson, as attorney for Mr. Guevara, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lopez, in clause 640-048 and 640-050, i.e. I have two documents for you. Is this your signature on each document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Garcia, the attorney for Mr. Lopez on 640-048 and 50, is this your signature on each document, sir?
It is, Judge, but I'm a little confused. I think
you.
we're just going to plead on one of the cases.
Is one going to be TIC or what's going to happen to the other one?
Yes, sir.
You pleading on 48 or 50?
Judge, two are going to be TIC, 50 and 49.
Okay, so we're pleading on 48 and TIC is going to be 50 and 49.
Correct.
And that is my signature, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, say again, Eddie?
That is my signature on the document.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, the next document I have is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonition. It purports to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Fridley, in clause 657-978, is this your signature on the document, sir?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Thank you. And if you're not specifically talking to me at this time, please turn your microphone off. We're getting a little background noise kicked back every once in a while. Okay, and clause 656-814. Mr. Rios, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And clause 626-271, Mr. Schultz, is this your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you, sir. And in clause 648-837, is this your signature, Ms. Barrio?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. In clause 653-914, is this your signature, Mr. Torres?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In clause 657-216, is this your signature, Mr. Guevara?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in clause 640-048, Mr. Lopez, is this your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. By signing these documents, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? Get any questions about what was on these documents? Those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney. So that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Mr. Fridley?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Is that correct, Mr. Rios?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Schultz?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Ms. Del Barrio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Torres?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Guevara?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, sir.
As attorney for Mr. Fridley, have you had enough time to go over this case with him, and in your opinion, is he mentally competent? Judge Barron.
Yes.
Same question for Mr. Trevino, as attorney for Mr. Rios.
Yes.
Same question for Mr. Trevino, as attorney for Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Hagee, as attorney for Ms. Del Barrio.
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Montoya, as attorney for Mr. Torres.
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Davidson, as attorney for Mr. Guevara.
Yes.
And same question for Mr. Garcia, as attorney for Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Judge Barron, have you had enough time to go over this case with Mr. Fridley, and in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes.
Same question for attorney for Mr. Rios, Mr. Trevino.
He is competent, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Trevino, excuse me, for Mr. Schultz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Hagee as attorney for Ms. Del Barrio.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Montoya as attorney for Mr. Torres.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Davidson as attorney for Mr. Guevara.
Yes.
And same question for Mr. Garcia as attorney for Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fridley, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Rios.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Schultz.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Del Barrio.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Torres.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Guevara.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Lopez.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Fridley, about 657-978. This is the Bear County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial intervention plea and probation agreement to the charge of driving while intoxicated. First offense, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Court accepts your plea of guilty. Hold it in abeyance. Places you on 1 year. Bear County Veterans Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial intervention. Assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive veterans treatment court fee. 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service. DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, 6 months Smart Start mobile home interlock, breath testing device, outpatient treatment with either the Veterans Administration or a designated provider, restitution, no restitution on this. Successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court, issue judge's bond, defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. At this time, Mr. Fridley, I'm looking at a document.
Judge,
Yeah,
there's restitution.
there is restitution.
Correct.
It's not on your, it's not on that document. Hang on. Whoever's microphone is on has kids in the background, please turn it off unless I'm talking to you. Sounds like somebody's having fun this morning, not us. Restitution admitting to Gustavo Mares, does that sound right?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, there you go. And is that correct, Judge Barron?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And once again, Mr. Fridley, at this time, I'm looking at a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract by and between you and your attorney and the Bear County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the requirements and prerequisites of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Fridley?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Is your signature on this document, Judge Barron?
It is, Judge.
And Ms. O'Connor, I apparently still have Mr. Nicholas Marew's signature as your trial partner and co-assistant criminal district attorney. Would that be his signature?
Correct, Judge.
Okay. What did I misstate?
You got it all.
What did I miss, defense?
Nothing that I know of.
Hey, Mr. Fridley, what'd you do in the military, sir?
I was in the Signa Corps, First AD Germany.
And how was that?
What's that, Judge?
I said, how was that?
I hate reforging. It was too cold. I'm from Texas.
That's what I thought. Well, thanks for keeping Al Qaeda and the Taliban out of Germany. We appreciate your effort.
Roger that, Judge.
All right. Welcome to the VTC. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Fridley?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Fridley, do you have any questions?
No, I don't there, Judge Barron.
Mr. Moore is going to get up to you guys and get you squared away on what you need to do. All right. Thank you. I'll excuse.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rios, let's see what we got going with you.
Gonna plead no contest, Judge?
Hang on just a second. I'll get back to that. And just starting out as a DWI first, does that sound right?
Correct, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Rios, the charge of driving while intoxicated, I understand you're entering a plea of no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there an agreement for Mr. Rios?
14 months deferred adjudication, $750 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, an APSE course, Smart Start mobile for half the term, restitution if any to Javi Galvan, restitution if any to SAPD, and a no contact order with Chastity Smith.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Let me write this down real quick so I don't miss something. And is Mr. or Miss Galvan's name J is in Juliet, A, V is in Victor, I-E, J-V? Does that sound right?
Correct, Judge.
And when we say SAPD, is that like the entire department or one officer, or do you know?
A car was hit, Judge, so I imagine it's just the.
Are we missing a window in a police car or something colorful like that?
Correct,
Yeah.
Judge.
Ah, here we go again. That always seems like such a good idea at the time. And this lady, is it C-H-A-S-T-I-T-Y sign? That sound right?
C-H-A-S-I-T-Y, correct.
Oh, all right, that's good. All right, Judge Barron, let me go over this one more time, make sure we get it all down to a fine time. Mr. Rios, court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt based on 14 months deferred adjudication probation. That's $750 fine plus court cost, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program outpatient drug, APSE stress management course, restitution if any to JV Galvan and San Antonio Police Department apparently for auto window, if any, and no contact with Chastity, C-H-A-S-I-T-Y sign. And by no contact, that means no contact whatsoever. Can't call her, can't email her. If she calls you, you can't talk to her, tell her that the judge has told you can't have any contact. And obviously Judge Barrett at some future point, or excuse me, it's Trevino at some future point, if you get that changed to no contact, harmful or injurious or something, and the state agrees, we can talk about that. Do these people have children together or anything like that that requires their contact?
Yes.
Okay. State, when that happens and we have kids, normally we order no contact, harmful or injurious, but once again, I don't know any of the facts of this case. I don't know if there was an assault or what it was. But you know, he needs to get his visitation, and Fernando right now, it's no contact, but feel free to chat with the state or whatever. If you can work out at some future point where we can all turn them in and make it no contact, harmful or injurious, I don't have a problem with that, but I don't know what the issues are in this case. So right now it's no contact whatsoever, but he still needs to get his, I want him to get his child visitation, obviously. So he may have to go through a third party or something to do that. So
yeah,
lawyers come in. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Rios?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Hi, Mr. Rios. Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Are
All
we
right,
free?
Mr. Schultz. Let's see what we got going with you. Stand by, sir.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You bet.
Thank you.
This is starting out as a DWI. Is that correct, state?
Correct, Judge.
And you have a motion.
The state moves to add a count 2 of obstruction, waive count 1, and proceed on count 2.
Objection from the defense, that will be granted.
No objection.
Basically, the state has moved to amend the information, add paragraph 2 alleging obstruction of a highway. Then I grant that. And then the state's waiving paragraph 1 and going forward on paragraph 2, obstruction of a highway. Would that be accurate, state?
Correct, Judge.
And that okay with you, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Schultz, because 626-271 to the charge of obstruction of a highway. How do you plead, sir?
I plead guilty, sir.
Thank you. Is there an agreement for Mr. Schultz in 626-271?
12 months deferred adjudication, $300 fine plus court costs, 36 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAD SNP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, and regular UA.
And Mr. Trevino, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Schultz, in cause 66271, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the offense of obstruction of a highway. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt. Place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation. That's a $300 fine plus court cost, 36 hours of community service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, outpatient drugs, Smart Star Mobile Home Interlock for 1/2 term, which is 6 months, and require regular urinalysis test. Anything further from the state of the defense on
Yes,
Mr.
Your
Schultz?
Honor. Yes,
Go
Your
ahead.
Honor. This is Attorney Trevino. Your Honor, we would need the court to remove any outstanding orders for arrest concerning any bond conditions or bond increases. I believe there was such an order issued back on March 15th, and then another one issued about 2 weeks ago.
No problem. We'll order a recall of any and all bond conditions that were imposed on the defendant prior to today. Fair enough?
Yes, and Your Honor, we would also need the court to allow or order that Mr. Schultz have limited driving privileges for work and also to travel between his home, his father's home, and work. Mr. Schultz's father contacted COVID, and there have been some complications, and now he is needing 24-hour care. So Mr. Schultz is helping his mother take care of his father, and they're the only two that can take care of the father who now requires 24-hour care.
Let me back up. Does Mr. Schultz's parents live in San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay. And why was Mr. Schultz, I mean, as long as he's got a Smart Star mobile device, he can drive anything anywhere. What is the problem with the driver's license or driving ability?
Well, he had it suspended. He's eligible, while he was on pretrial release, he's eligible to get it back. And he was concerned that I addressed this to the court. And so I'm doing that out of an abundance of caution in case there's any questions.
So right now, as we speak, does he have a valid Texas driver's license?
He does, but he had to surrender it when he went in, and they gave him a Texas issued ID, but I don't know that they returned his license.
Okay, I'm confused. Why did he have to turn in his driver's license and get an ID?
Your Honor, Mr. Schultz is on the line. You could address it to him directly because I also don't understand.
All right, Mr. Schultz, what's going on with your Texas driver's license?
When I got pulled over when I got first off charged for the DWI before my blood test and everything came back, they told me that my license was suspended for the DWI. That was before my blood test came back. And now I'm not for sure if I'm able to get my license back, because when I went down to, because I'm also a convicted sex offender from 14 or 15 years ago, and I have to register once a year, and I have to have some kind of form of identification. And when I went to report to the sex offender registration here, and they told me that I had to have that, I could not get my license because of the DWI charge.
Okay, I think what you're talking about is they have an ALR, automatic license revocation, if you refuse to take a breath test, or you have a certain amount of blood or alcohol or whatever in your blood or breath kind of deal. So that
Yes,
may be an ALR suspension we're dealing with, Elva. He needs to call the Texas Department of Public Safety and tell him he needs to find out what he needs to do to get his Texas driver's license back. And I don't know what the date of arrest was on this case, but I mean, normally they suspend it for like 6 months off an ALR, and that may be over, and maybe he can apply for his license back. I don't know, but they will know. You don't need an attorney for this, Mr. Schultz. And those phone numbers in Austin are busy all the time. You got to keep calling them until you get through. As soon as you get through, they'll put you in touch with somebody that pulls you up onto the computer, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get your license reinstated.
Okay.
Does out there have any current information other than what I think is the way to do this? Mr. Hagee doing something I don't know?
Judge, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Schultz, you can go online to the Texas DPS website, and you can put in your name and your information, and it will give you a list of things that you need to do if your license is still suspended, or it will tell you if you're eligible to go and go to DPS and get a new copy.
Okay, because I got arrested in October 28th of 2019 or 2018. I can't remember what
Okay,
year it
well,
was.
that's fine, but if you go online to the Texas DPS website and you can put your information in there and it will give you your current status and what you need to do if it's suspended, or if it's not suspended, then you just go to DPS and you get yourself a new copy.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, anything further from Mr. Schultz or Mr. Trevino?
No, Your Honor.
no,
not
sir.
from-
If you have any further problems, Mr. Schultz, call Mr. Trevino, she'll call me and we'll figure it out, okay?
Yes, sir.
All good. Thanks, sir. Y'all cut loose. Okay, Ms. Del Barrio and clause 648837. Let me see what we got going on you. State, you got a motion.
Correct, Judge. The state moves to waive the enhancement and proceed as a DWI first.
Jared Anderson's wife's on the line.
No objection.
She wants to know if we sent those papers to the attorney. She's following up because they never received them.
No objection to that, Your Honor.
I imagine not. State's motion to waive the greater than 0.15 enhancement is granted. Therefore, Ms. Del Barrio, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
No contest, Your Honor.
Okay, is there an agreement for Ms. Del Barrio, please?
Yes, Judge. And note that this changed after I sent you the plea. So now it's 14 months deferred adjudication, $500 fine plus court costs, 24 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, and $60 to DPS.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, Ms. Del Barrio, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt. Place you on 14 months, deferred adjudication probation. It says a $500 fine plus court cost, 24 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, and Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock for 7 months, and $60 reimbursement fee to the Texas Department of Public Safety. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Del Barrio?
Nothing further.
Nothing from the defense.
Ms. Del Barrio, thank you, Mr. Hagee. Y'all are dismissed. Okay, Mr. Torres, let's see what we got going with you. The charge of failure to identify and give false name, I guess. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Torres?
1 day in the Bexar County Jail, $200 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we ask this be a JSTAT, Judge.
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Mr. Torres, in cause 653-914, the court accepts your plea of no contest. Let me find the sheet here. 2, failure to ID and give false information. I find you guilty. I said 1 day in the Bexar County Jail. A $200 fine plus court costs. Credit for time served. Time and money to run concurrent. Judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Torres?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Montoya. Okay, Mr. Guevara, let's see what we got going with you. This is on cause 657-216. Unlawfully carrying a weapon. Is that the one we're working with, Mr. Davison?
Yes, Your Honor. The other one is going to be TIC.
All right, great. Mr. Guevara, on cause 657-216, the charge of unlawfully carrying a handgun. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement from Mr. Guevara in 657-216?
12 months deferred adjudication, a probated $300 fine plus court costs, 36 hours community service, drug offender education program, a gun safety course, motion to forfeit the weapon, and TIC cause number 657-217.
Mr. Davison, what kind of weapon is it? I know it's a handgun. What is it?
Your Honor, it's a CZ P10C. I was going to ask for it.
I was going to say, if you would take this with the understanding it's not to be returned to the defendant, his family, or his friends, instead of letting the state destroy it, I'll do that. State, is that okay with you?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Try not to drop it on your foot or anything, hurt yourself.
No, I won't do that.
Confirm. Okay, Mr. Guevara, cause 657-216, for exception or plea of no contest to the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt, place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation. That's a $300 fine, probating all that, plus court cost, 36 hours community service, DOEP course, firearm safety course. State's motion to destroy weapon is respectfully denied. Weapon is to be awarded to defense counsel, additional attorney's fees, with the understanding it's not to be returned to the defendant, his family, and his friends. Taking into consideration clause 657-217, which is granted, it shall be dismissed. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Guevara?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Guevara. Thank you, Mr. David.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lopez, in clause 640048. That is a driving while intoxicated first offense case. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Lopez?
6/12, $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAD/SNP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, TIC cause numbers 640050 and 640049, and restitution, if any, to Kristen Martinez and Enrique Rodriguez.
And Mr. Garcia, is that your understanding of the agreement? Eddie, can you hear me? I can see you, but your microphone is turned off, Eddie.
Yes, yes, Judge, that is the agreement.
Okay. And state on your plea bargain document, I don't see the restitution. Is that something new that's not on your sheet?
I have it on mine, Judge. I don't know what happened.
So anyway, tell me again who the restitution is going to, if any.
Kristen Martinez.
Kristen, K-R-I-S-T-I-N.
Correct. Ian.
Martinez with an S or a Z?
Z.
Okay. And who else?
Enrique Rodriguez.
I've got Enrique last name.
Rodriguez.
Anybody else?
Nope, that's it, Judge.
And okay, let me run through this, and Eddie, make sure I get this right. Mr. Lopez, in clause 6400048, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. Probated for 1 year, $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety and Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock for 6 months, taking into consideration clause 6400049 and 6400050, which is granted, and they shall be dismissed. Restitution, if any, can be paid to Kristen Martinez and Enrique Rodriguez. Is that correct, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge, we'd just like to reserve a right to contest restitution in the event that it comes in over what we think it might be.
Absolutely. You have a right to a restitution hearing anytime that becomes necessary. No problem with that.
And also, Judge, he's been on a scram while on bond all this time. So now that he's been sentenced, will you order that the scram device be removed?
And we're going to recall all pretrial bond conditions, which include scram. Was there anything else? Did I do GPS or anything else colorful doing?
That's all, Judge.
Okay, good to go on my side. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Lopez?
Nothing further.
No from the defense, Your Honor.
Good luck,
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Lopez. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Okay.
Y'all are dismissed.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And did we ever get back to Smith? Wayne Young ever be able to appear?
Your Honor,